Oh gosh, I almost forget that sometimes.
People is Jenny hit record. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I think it's because I created that.
Hey, Bridget. Good to see you.
I was just writing you a message saying hi.
You were. Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you.
It's good to see you. Oh my goodness. I'm going to close my curtain because I look like I'm dead. I'm really not.
No, you don't. You look all lit up. Very beautiful.
And you guys always get me looking rough from the gym, so you're welcome for that. Let me get everybody in. I know everybody always, I always want to give it a few minutes before we start because it's literally at noon.
Sure.
Everyone's getting in. I'm so excited how much these are growing. So as I always say every week, if you're part of Facebook groups or Voxer groups or something, I mean, however you learned about this, if you're a part of other ones too, please feel free to share this with everyone. And if you will for me, make sure you're muted because there'll be a lot of us on here. We don't want to create an echo. So if you could, some of you I know aren't muted yet. If you could mute, that would be amazing. Oh, I wonder why it won't let me mute. Pam, I'm going to have you mute because it won't let me mute you for whatever reason. Probably because he's trying to connect the audio, I would imagine. And if some of you know people are having a hard time getting in, some of you may know this or not, and some computers automatically do it. Zoom had an update. So if you have consultants or whatever trying to get on, like we can't, I'm letting everybody in the minute their name pop up. This is such a go give thing. It's for anybody in the Mary Kay world. And I know just, you know, Denise, I'm kind of excited. Some people have been telling me how it's been going international, like if they have consultants in other countries and things like that, they've been sharing it. And I'm like, man, I hope they're, I know, isn't that fun? I was like, we just kind of started this and it just kind of exploded when everybody was wanting to join it. And I love it because it's like a midweek pick me up. And so yes, any Facebook group, any social media, any groups you're part of, I know some of you meet in person and whatever, you're welcome to share this with anybody and everybody. It's for consultants, directors. It doesn't matter where they live. And I had a lady send me something, but I had to have it translated because I don't know that language, but some of our Russian women are getting this because they were sending my friend luckily is and like, Jenny, that
is exciting.
Isn't that fun? I was like, that's amazing. So I don't know, somebody must have shared it.
The company sent me to Taiwan for a week one time to train. They didn't have a nationals yet, and they were starting to develop nationals, and they wanted somebody to come and train just all the basics of Mary Kay. And you know, you think in another culture things are going to be different. They're not that different. Women are the same.
They sure are.
I'm excited. The training's going everywhere. Everybody's hungry for it.
They sure are. And I don't know. I just think so yes. Lily, you can share it with anybody. This consultants, directors, anybody, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I know they're just kind of getting out there to everyone. So when I got that beautiful note through Facebook, it was a thank you. And I was like, that's so nice. I loved it. So listen, I don't know how to translate anything or do anything like that for you. I am not, you're lucky I'm doing this. Technology repels me. So I don't know how to help you in the other realms, but listen, that's where we are. You are welcome to do whatever you need to do with it. And so I'll get this recording out later today or in the morning for Zoom. And then we get it over the weekend. Sometimes it takes Monday to get it on YouTube. And so I just I go right back to everywhere I post. And then you all grab it from there and post it anywhere you want. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and start because I know some of you are literally on lunch hour. And so we have the honor and privilege. And if you have not had that privilege yet to be in the space of Denise Kucharski, you are missing something. You are going to be so excited today. And Denise, I don't know if you don't know this, but I think it was my first or second seminar was your first $1 million year. And I remember,
really?
Yes, I remember sitting there and I was just like sobbing. And I just loved how genuine and authentic you are. The real deal. And I know for so many, you truly are Mary Kay Ash. And it's because your heart is so pure And I love everything you do. I've never, if you've heard her name, you've only heard blessings and love when they talk about you, because it is truly, you're exactly what Mary Kay wanted. And so when we create these lunch and learns, I just want people that are truly leading her legacy on forever to pass on. And you guys, there are so many attributes and accolades that we could share about you, but I think the biggest one that all of you need to know, this is the real deal, and the heart is just like Mary Kay.
Yes.
And I think that's important for you to know, as she's going to take her time, especially as we're wrapping up this seminar year. We're also crazy busy, right? And for these women
Yes.
to take their time to pour into all of us, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you and all that you do and all that you have done. And I'm just, if you're okay, I know I always ask, I'm going to spotlight you if you're okay with that, but you can change your screen up at the right if you don't want to see your face really big. Some people that distracts them, and I tell them, like, you can change yours back to gallery view, but some want you spotlight.
Okay.
So I just do that, and then
Any-
anybody can change it up in the right-hand corner under your view. You can make
Any
it
way you want to do it is fine with me.
okay.
So,
wonderful. Well,
I
I'm going to
didn't
let you
bring
take over, friend.
Jennifer, you made me cry. I didn't bring tissues to the game here, but anyway, I am so excited, you guys, to be with you, and excited to be finishing up another seminar year. We just it's the same excitement, but it's a new ball game every year, right? Right. So what I hope to share with you today is some real meat and potatoes ideas, but also some things that just have happened through the past few years that I think are significant to share. And God gave me a word, and it was the word breakthrough. So I want you to start thinking about the breakthroughs you've had. We've all had many, but the ones that have really shaped your life, shaped your career, and had a ripple effect on lots of other people, because those breakthroughs are really meaningful. A lot of people know me from us doing Million 5 times. A lot of people know me from 22 trips. A lot of people think I still live in Texas because I built my business there for the first 30 years, but I have lived in Missouri. I moved back to where I was born and raised as my mother gets older. And so I've been here for about 13 years, I guess. A lot of people think, gosh, she must be so old by now because she's been here forever. Is she still alive? But I was only 24 when I started this business. So yeah, I'm getting older, but I'm still here and still hopefully doing lots of great things. So Jennifer, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for giving me this fun and this privilege to talk today. And so I'm going to share some breakthroughs. And one of my framing thoughts around these breakthroughs is, how can we help our consultants to have breakthroughs? And how can we take our own experiences and use those as ways to help them have breakthroughs? I'm going to tell you about a breakthrough that had to do with my personality style. My personality style I was born with is D, with a lot of C coming in behind that. And so that means I am perceived by people many times as being pushy and picky. Well, people don't like people who are pushy and picky as much as they do people who have, I think, a softer, more compassionate personality. And so God took care of that. Many of you know that I've had breast cancer twice. 10 years apart. Second time, I went ahead with a double mastectomy. But the first time I had cancer, I during it and after it, I saw what was happening. And I always say it was one of the biggest blessings of my life to have cancer. And I know that sounds so strange, but God used it to squish my D personality. I think of it as the mammogram machine, you know? I wish you were muted because I know you'd be laughing. But the way the mammogram machine squishes, God just used cancer to squish that D. And he put in front of me so many people who ministered to me in so many ways. Encouragement, flooded with notes. Flowers came to the house all the time. Oh gosh, people jumped in and assisted me. I had two main things I'll say three main things that were just so important to me during that time. And that was to love on my kids and to be at church on Sunday, to feel well enough to be at church on Sunday. That was a big priority for me. And to keep the unit going and let them know that I was going to be fine. And so God gifted me with those things, but the bigger gift was how he just squished that D out of me and showed me how to have a servant's heart. I'll give you an example of how D got in my way so much. One, I had a consultant, very successful consultant for many years. Her name was Leslie. And so Leslie confided to me years later that I had really hurt her feelings one time. And I said, well, Leslie, tell me what happened. And she said, I came in the door to the unit meeting, and Leslie was someone who always sold 800 a week or more. And she came in the door and she said, I didn't sell all that much this week. I was sick this week. Well, my response, which I thought was a response of encouragement, was to say, that's okay. You'll do just so much better this week. Well, she told me later how much that hurt her, that when she told me she'd been sick, I did not say, oh, you poor thing, are you okay now? What sickness was it? Now, I should have done that, but a deep personality just moves right on, you know? And so some of those things have shaped how I do things today and how I changed how I work with my unit. One of those is finding a place for everyone to win, because I want to show that compassion to everyone in my unit, no matter where they are on the scoreboard. And I'm going to come back to that a few minutes from now, but that's kind of an offshoot from that breakthrough of what happened to me during cancer. And I really do believe that these breakthroughs are orchestrated by God, that they are God inspired. And we do have to invest some energy, but I believe I know that one for me did come from God. Another one, and this is kind of an iconic story that I have that a lot of people tell me that they tell to their units, but it's one that you could share that would help consultants have their own breakthroughs. And it's an iconic story of a goal poster I had many, many years ago. I was still a consultant. I was in a pace setters class, and the director said, make a poster, put things on it that you want, and just dream as big as you can possibly dream. Well, in our town, I lived in a nice neighborhood, but there was another neighborhood I wished I lived in, where all the big, beautiful homes were. And so I thought, I'll put a picture of a big, beautiful house. I mean, I would never have it, but I'll put a picture like that on my poster, because she said to dream big. So I had come from Texas to Missouri to visit my mom. She had this magazine laying on her coffee table that she'd spent $7 on. She never spent $7 on a magazine back then. And it was $1 million homes across America. And I said, Mom, I need to rip a picture out of your magazine. She said, no, not out of my $7 magazine, but I finally convinced her. I chose a picture of a home that I thought was just gorgeous. I mean, it spoke to me. It was in Colorado. It was in a wooded area. It was it was gorgeous. It had Austin stone on the outside. It was a stone house. It rambled a little. Oh, it was just beautiful. I loved it. And so I cut out that picture. I put it on the goal poster. The next time I made a new goal poster, I carefully peeled that picture off of the poster and I put it on the new poster. The next time I made a new one, I peeled it again and I kept transferring that to the next poster. Well, 2 or 3 years, 4 years went by, and I was driving down a street in our city, and this was Wichita Falls, Texas, and I saw a house that I'd always liked. And it had a for sale sign out. And I thought, oh my gosh, that house I like is on the market. So I told my husband, I said, I know it'll be too much money. We won't be able to afford it, but I sure want to see the inside of it. So we went, oh my goodness. The inside, the fireplace was exactly the fireplace I had envisioned in my head that I wanted. There were so many things in it that were just exactly like I had envisioned that I wanted in a house. Well, lo and behold, we were able to qualify for the loan and we bought that house. Well, I knew what the house looked like, right? I bought it. About 3 months later, I was having a unit meeting there, and one of my consultants walked in and she said, Denise, did you used to have a goal poster with a house on it that looked just like this? I said, no. Yeah, I had a poster. There was the picture of a house that I kept transferring poster to poster, but no, it was in Colorado. It was in the woods. And I happened to have the realtor's official picture from the realtor listing sitting there on my piano. And she picked it up and she said, well, look at this picture. There were enough tall trees around my house that when you looked at the realtor picture, it looked like it was in a wooded area. It was the white Austin stone. It sprawled a little bit. Lo and behold, you guys, it looked just like that picture that had been on my goal poster. And so I share that iconic story because we as directors, we're so accustomed to goal posters. To us, it's an old idea, but do we talk about it to our consultants? Do we give them the opportunity to have their breakthroughs by doing those simple, tried and true things that we know work? And a goal poster would be one of those breakthrough stories that I would have to share. Another breakthrough story would be that numbers don't lie. We hear that. I have a very solid story example of it. We had a year that we wanted to move from let me think this through. Okay. We'd done 350,000 the year before, and it took 550,000 at that time to qualify for the top director trip. So we wanted to jump 200,000 from the 350 to the 550. And so I did the math because I knew that the formula worked where you take your unit size times $50, and that's what you're going to have as base production, and then 1,000 per new consultant. And so I did the formula, and it came out that we needed 14 new consultants to be able to create the production we needed. Thought 14 new consultants, we had only been bringing in 5 a month. How are we going to bring in 14? So I took a poster. I numbered to 14. It was nothing fancy. I put it in front of the unit meeting. I said, you guys, guess what we're going to do this month? We're going to bring 14 new people into the unit. And they were all just, all right, let's do it, you know. And so we got to the end of the month, and guess how many we had brought into the unit? 5. Same number we'd been doing. Well, I just threw that poster aside and I drew 1 to 14 on a new poster. I said, guess what we're going to do this month? We're going to bring in 14 new people. At the end of the month, we had 5. The third month, we had 5. Lynn, I see you laughing. But guess what happened the 4th month? We had 14. Guess what happened for the next 14 months in a row? We always had 14 or more. So that was a breakthrough to me. And part of that breakthrough too was that I did the formula that told me we needed 14. And then I heard about another formula and I thought, oh, maybe that formula will give me an answer that I like a little bit better. And I tried this other formula. It was still 14. So I had the idea of cheating, and I had to realize that the numbers don't lie. So that was a breakthrough moment, and that has held true ever since. That also affected my time management a lot because I learned how to really do the things that count. That happened during cancer too. That was another good side effect from cancer, was doing only those things that produce the most result. The next breakthrough I want to tell you about is learning how to honor people at all levels of the business in my unit. And I shared this story earlier about Leslie, and that was part of what helped me learn that was so important. But I just came to learn that there are so many people in our units and in our company that are needing attention. I had a recent experience that brought that home to me. When about 3 years ago, Sherry Farrar-Meyer, my dear friend, she added me to the top director Voxer group. I was at a point where I was feeling like I don't know if I have the energy for this business anymore. I was feeling old. I had come through a couple of years of kind of a depression. I ended that depression with a decision to reinvent myself. And so I changed my hair, I changed my makeup, I bought new clothes, and I changed what I was feeding my mind. And so I reinvented myself. So I'll toss that out there as an idea. Jennifer, I have pages and pages of notes here. Like if you ever want me to speak again, I've got enough for about 2 more times. But anyway, and so I came through that depression and I reinvented myself. And you guys, that joining that Voxer group, Sherry put me in there, it really saved me, because when you don't have a national, and Jennifer Baus said the same thing last week, when you don't have a national, you don't have a director, you don't really have anybody, and you're a D personality, and so you don't mind doing things on your own, you really don't realize how much you need community. And when I was added to that group and saw fresh new ideas, energy, chatter, encouragement, tools, resources, all those things, they made all the difference for me. They really woke me up, re-energized me. And that was another breakthrough. But that's only for that group that goes on top director trips. And so I began to think about all the people out there who might feel disconnected like I did. So I started a Voxer group called the Energy Directors, and we filled up one with the max 500 people. And so we've started a second one. So if anybody's not in a really supportive group and has a community and you want to join that, you just let me know. But as I do in interviews with prospects and I say, what do you most need in your life right now? If you had that, what do you most want in your life and what do you most value? I ask that to these directors in this Voxer group. I was flooded with so many comments, people saying, I need community, I need encouragement, I need to know a good solid way to do new consultant training. I just need a feeling of belonging. I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And so that is a big need in directors, but in our units also. There are a lot of people in our units out there thinking, I don't do much. I don't know if she even knows my name. I don't know if she even knows who I am. And so what I did, and this idea came from Joe Cotton, and many of you have heard me talk about this, how I do my unit courts. And I don't know if this will show up very well on the screen. And I'll tell you where this is that you can find it. But I do all the way down to a loyalty court, and the loyalty court is only 1,500 retail. That's $750 wholesale. I mean, that's like nothing through the year. But there are people who don't qualify for it. But it reaches far enough down in the unit that those people are getting postcards from me telling them how much more they have to be in a court. In a court, in our unit, you just need this much more, and you're going to win these earrings. And that court gets, I'll even show you the earrings. I've got them sitting here. It's just a little stud earring. I mean, it's not, they are nice. They're really, they're a pretty earring. Okay. And the company I get these from even puts in a little congratulations note, and they come in the little boxes. But anyway, the courts give so many more people a place to win. And I'm really excited. I've done that now for maybe, I don't know, maybe about 8 years. And I just see the payoff, receive thank yous from people. They know that I know who they are. They know that I appreciate them when they're working at the level that they want to work at. And I do challenge them to do a little more. It's not that I let them be complacent. But because I do challenge them to go on up to that next court. Every time they make a court level, I say, oh, you only need this much more to go to that next court. So it's kind of a fun thing that we do, honoring all levels. Another thing that was a breakthrough for me was learning how to release. And 2 things come to my mind when I talk about how to release. One is how to release consultants in our unit who were doing a lot or we thought could do a lot, and it doesn't happen. And that's hard sometimes to let people move on to something else. And just learning the word release was powerful for me. I had a very difficult time period in my career where I had to separate from someone in my Mary Kay family that I loved very much, but I was deeply hurt in the situation. It's now resolved, thankfully, I can say that, but it hurt me so deeply that it did send me into that depression I mentioned. And so I had to learn how to release that. I had to release the thought that, am I getting too old? Do I not have the energy anymore to do what I want to do with this business? And so I really had to be very on purpose about attacking that one and to let go of that. And I had to release the expectation that people had because of my success, the expectation they had of me to become a national. And honestly, God never did put that dream in my heart. And I do not know why, unless it was to have a voice beyond age 65. I have no idea, but I tried to have that dream, but I just didn't have that dream. So to release things that others expect you to do and to allow yourself to really dream for what you want to dream, to release yourself from doing things that you think you should do, but you don't really want to. Maybe I've reached the age where I feel like it's a luxury I can just claim and say, well, if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. So I do the things I want to do and I don't do the others. And if they need to be done, I just hire it done or get somebody else to do it. I'm good at delegating. Let's see. I can entertain some questions if anybody has some. I've got a show and tell for the ending. Does anybody want to? I guess I should go to gallery view if I want to see. And I don't see comments. They're not showing where I see them.
Well, there's
Jennifer, do you see anybody asking a question that you need to pass on to me?
No, but I know a question. Oh, there it is. Where
Okay.
is the place to get the prizes for different levels, and where can they look at your flyer? Is there like a resource they can go and see what you're
Okay. You know what? I'll go ahead and do my show and tell, and it'll answer those questions right there. Okay. Excuse me. I've got a whole stack of red boxes right here that I'm getting ready to mail out. And so this was a breakthrough that I had at the last time we had in-person seminar. I'm not even sure what year that was now, but anyway, sitting in a class in the theater, I was sitting there thinking about my age-old situation of I'm better at sales than I am recruiting. What can I do to build reds? I need to do better at building reds. And then I don't know why God just put this thought in my mind about these subscription boxes that people get, that they purchase, and how much fun they have opening them up. And then I thought about, well, we get our box from the company, whatever that's called, I forget, but you know what I'm talking about, the box we get. And so I thought, red box, I could send a red box to my consultants who are in red jackets and then play that up for everybody else. So I'm going to tell you, most of my resources are in the Facebook group called Director Tips Group. So Director Tips Group on Facebook. And I'll tell you, they're filed there by dates. So I'll even tell you in a minute what date these are listed under, so you won't have to hunt and hunt. Otherwise, you have to know the exact name of the document. So these little stickers that are on here that say red box, I have trouble finding the camera. Those are there. I'll open up the box and show you what's inside of it. I put gifts in there. I had little red bags that I was able to use this time. They get some full-size products. There's a card, and this is one of the resources. I know it doesn't show up very well when the light hits it. this is in the resources, and it tells what levels they get what for. As you can see on my background, we do a thing in our unit I call M&M night. And so they have a little thing in their thing with M&Ms and the information about M&M night. So anyway, that's kind of what it looks like. And so let me tell you that the red box resources are at Director Tips Group when you scroll down to February 2nd. There is a recognition thing there that you can use in a newsletter or somewhere else. There's the insert for in the box, and there's the stickers to go on the outsides of the boxes. Okay, the prizes that I was talking about, those come from Kucharski.com. Full disclosure, it is my daughter's company, but I promote it for more reasons than just that it's my daughter's. Her stuff looks so Kendra Scott. And it is not the Kendra Scott price. It's boxed. This is her, she suggests it for Queen of Sales, but you could use it for anything. Don't they look Kendra Scott? People stop me and ask me if they are. The little bracelet that goes with it has a cute little tiara charm on it. I don't know how that's showing up on the screen. Anyway, all my stack of bracelets come from her company. It's Kucharski.com, Kuchycoo.com. Let's see what else. Okay, 2 other documents. This is in my show and tell. This is a document that is a whole seminar year at a glance. And went to a director retreat. I'd probably only been a director for about a year. So this was a long, long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was National Sales Director Emeritus Mickey Ivey that shared this. It's very rough looking. Somebody, if they want to do a clean, fresh, today looking copy, that would be great. Send it to me. But it has all the months. And I know that we can go to reports at In Touch and we can access all this information, but there's no place that we can look at all 12 months at one time at where our unit size is going, how our production is waiting or what.
Did everybody else lose her? I was like, I just lost her. Denise, can you hear us?
I thought it was me.
I thought it was too. I was like, wait a minute. All of a sudden, I was catching her every few minutes, and then it's probably that storm she's in.
Could be. I know it's caused lots of over the last few days too, because
yeah, I just kicked her out. She'll come back. We'll wait a minute. Put a pin in that.
So good.
Back, I'm sure of it. I just want to know where to get her one she's talking about and her court graphic.
Yeah. I love to extend those courts and give people, more of a chance to win there at the end and make a push and get, have a reason to get a hold of them and say, hey, and even if you haven't promoted it all year long, I mean, you have 45 days or 40 days, I don't know, but you have enough time to say, hey, guess what we're doing? Because they weren't paying attention at the beginning anyway.
I did just go into, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
I did just go into the Director Tips group. And if you just search under Denise's name, her seminar year at a glance pops up as a PDF. And I know you can find other things. It does list all of her too, and all of the things there too. So super helpful. Yes. And I have ordered from Kucharski, and it's
I love them.
Really nice. So hope that helps.
Yeah,
that's great. That is true. I guess I have seen her post stuff and I didn't pay a whole lot of attention, except that I know that I love her too. And Jen, I think I remember her from, being on stage too with Million. So,
oh my God, I was a sobbing baby.
Right?
It was such a miraculous year for them to do that. It was incredible to watch.
Oh.
Can I say something? I'm actually for my first red jacket, like my brand new red jacket, there is a red box that there's a company on Director's Tips where they mail it out
Yes.
and it's full of goodies. And I think it's like, sorry, consultants, if you're on here, I think it's like $20, but it's got
Yeah.
some great tools in there. And I've seen it, but I haven't yet mailed one out, but it's coming. And so does it Court of Achievers?
Court
Is
of
that-
Achievers, yes. They have star boxes, they have things like that. I'll tell you, my best friend Rebecca, she spoke for us before. We've done a red rally night. So one meeting a month is our red night, but we create our own red boxes. Like it has a theme in a paper. Like last one had little rubber duckies and it had like the bath bombs and the sponges, and we do section 1 products. So we did the, lotion and the white water lily and all that. But I mean, just because she's crafty like that. I don't have crafty bone on my body, but she creates, and it has scripts for everything, like doing your mental bath every day and stuff like that. So they are, and I'm going to tell you, there's been a huge change in my red jackets because we do it for sensational senior. That's one advice I would give. Is a sensational senior, first-time senior consultant gets a baby red box, a junior red box. And then obviously there's levels 825 and 1500, and whoever had the top red team production, whatever, highest one. And I send them, Bridget, I send them once a month. We have a red rally night. It's our success meeting on Zoom, but they are opening the red boxes at that meeting. And we're talking about the importance of building, but we've seen it grow. And I think those ones on Court of Achievers are beautiful too. And we're looking at those, but we've kind of, I don't know, we create our own theme every month, and she's just amazing at that. Like the different, like we'll do them like Easter themed or whatever, but it really does make a difference. And girls, they fall out, definitely want to get back on. Oh, there she is. We got her back. Hold on. She's probably trying to connect. Oh, I said let her in, but I don't see her. Maybe it kicked her back out again. I just want her to know how much we love her and appreciate her, even if she's getting kicked in and out. I'm looking. Well, there she is.
I'm back.
Yay!
Hey, Peg. Sorry, I missed your call. I just saw that you.
Now
had
you
called
see my
earlier, but I
green
don't know if
screen
you left
behind me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry
Well,
about
I
it.
know. I knew storms were coming. I think we're lucky we made it as long as we did. It is so dark outside.
Yeah.
So I've lost my internet. So I came back in on cellular. I think I was almost, I'm so sorry.
We found it. We found
But
your
I
piece
was,
you were talking about. Stacy was so kind and she found the resource for him.
oh, she did. Okay. So if I just read these off real quickly, the red box things are under February 2nd. The seminar unit courts are under January 29th. And the new consultant chart is on March 28th. And the seminar year to date, the whole year on one page, I just posted it yesterday. So it should be at the top of the list, May 19th or May 18th.
Oh my gosh. Denise, thank you so much for all those ideas and your go give heart. And we won't keep you because I know you're going to be cutting in and out because of the storms, but there's so many people are just going crazy. And I'm so glad you're able to get back on so we could all tell you how much we love you and appreciate you. We are cheering you on to create those groups and to do everything that you do. And girl, you're never too old. Age is a number and people need you.
It is something we have to release.
Mhm.
And it's a topic in our company. I'm amazed at how many women come to me and talk to me about it, that they're just at a stage of life. They're sort of at a crossroads, they don't know what they want to do. I loved being a young, successful director, and things do change as you go along, but you change them to be the way you want them to be. And you live life the way you want to. No matter what happens, no matter how old you are, there are always still breakthroughs that are God inspired and God orchestrated. We just have to invest the energy and tend the garden. But I believe God is the gardener, and he bends down like a gardener does, and he talks to us, and he grows us, and he nourishes us and lifts us, and the breakthroughs do come. So thank you all for letting me ramble today. I hope something was of good use to you.
I think it was amazing. Real quick before she goes, because she might get cut out, or does anybody have a question or anything they want to say to affirm Denise for joining us today? And I will get the recording because there was so many good nuggets in it today.
Thanks, Danette.
Yes, we love all the ideas.
Well,
Well,
I do want to thank
Thanks, Faye.
Denise. I happened on to the Cookie Chew, you know, what I can never say it. You know what I'm talking
Coochie
about.
coo.
Yeah. Yes. And I happened onto it on the director's tips last year. And I don't think Denise meant it to be a year long. I mean, it is a year long, but you just started more like in February, right, Denise? And
I think,
so,
well, I don't, you know what happens is I don't really announce the seminar year awards until January or February, because I know if I do it earlier than that, they're not thinking that much yet toward their year end goals, and I'm going to wear them out with it. So I wait and announce it on purpose along about February. And then boy, I just hammer it.
yeah, and it worked so well last year. It is work to get those postcards out though. I mean, it definitely takes some time, but it was well worth it because people did have a place to win. So thank you.
And Sandy, didn't you make a unit club when you had not ever done one before?
Yes, it was my first one, and they couldn't believe that we did it. And we had in June, we did 26,000 wholesale. And never had I done anything like that before.
I love your story.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
She also does a monthly program, and the one she's got cooked up for this next year is going to be called Ear Candy. And it is the cutest thing you've ever seen. And it's going to be earrings that charms hang on. And so every month they can earn new charms for their earrings. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. She's just blowing me away with that. Somebody just asked about the postcards. They are at Director Tips Group, also right at the same spot where you'll find the different levels. The postcards are right there next to it on the list.
Awesome. Well, ladies, thank you all so much for joining today and making this event so good. I'm loving these Thursdays. This thing is really taking off, and I just makes my heart happy. I get so excited for every Thursday because I know we're going to see new faces and in the comments, even ideas, and we all need each other, right? And so thank you again, Denise, for your kind words.
When are you speaker?
Say that again.
When are you going to be the speaker?
I don't know. I'm just trying to fill everybody else's wishes and demands and get everyone else they've been asking for. Oh gosh.
I think we asked for.
I'll have to work on that. I'll have to work on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, Miss Jenny won't tell you this, but she's already done with Triple Star.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Again.
Congratulations.
Again, not like it's her first. It's again.
Oh, wow. We definitely is the speaker, Jennifer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, ladies, so much. And I hope you all have an amazing Thursday, every Thursday we'll be here. Other than the first Thursday in July, we're going to take an intermission, but we'll keep these going. And thank you all for joining. Pass them on to everybody. And again, Denise, we love you dearly. We'll be cheering all of us on, praying for everybody to year end. Bye, ladies.
Bye.